So we just got some pretty important information for season 3 of One Punch Man that I feel like not a lot of people are talking about. So if you've been following every bit of news that has been released since season 3 has been announced, which honestly isn't much other than, character designs and that one promotional video that we're not really going to talk about here, you know that the majority of the content that we have been receiving in regards to One Punch Man season 3 is the slow release of these character designs from month to month. I believe it was pretty much one character design per month that they were releasing, and I want to say maybe the last 1 or 2 months they actually did 2 of them at a time. Each one of these character designs that was released is of a hero, specifically S-class heroes, except for Saitama's design, of course. And initially I thought this meant that we were only going to be getting S-class hero design releases until, they pretty much ran out, and then we'd just be waiting until the next trailer or the next promotional video or whatever. But no, it turns out that we're also going to be getting releases of the major monsters that we're going to be facing in this upcoming season. And it's very interesting to note as well, because once we saw the first key visual for the season, which a lot of people had a lot of bad things to say about it because it was pretty much just all the character designs we received, I mean pretty much just pasting them all onto one poster and calling it a key visual. It's kind of a downer, but whatever. If you notice in that key visual though, they're all kind of looking to the left, or from their perspective I guess it's to their right. And now with these 2 latest character design releases, it's looking like this key visual is a part of a bigger poster where it's going to be the S-class heroes facing off against the strongest monsters of the Monster Association, which are going to play a major role in this upcoming arc. Because not to get into any spoilers or anything like that for those of you that are anime only, but this upcoming season is going to heavily emphasize the S-class heroes and their battle with the strongest monsters from the Monster Association. Pretty much the S-class heroes equivalent of the Monster Association members. Because to me, the monsters of this season are the more interesting part of it to me, what their designs are going to look like, to what capacity are they going to stay true to the manga in terms of their designs, things like that. Because we have seen with Darkshine, for example, his character design was pretty notably changed in the face to kind of give him, a less pronounced nose and lips and stuff like that. Again, people have had their 2 cents on that as well, but I kind of wanted to see if some of this stuff carried over into the monster designs, because in my opinion, the monster designs for these super powerful monsters that we're supposed to be seeing in season 3 are pretty damn near perfect. I wouldn't change anything about them. And it looks like with these 2 recent designs that were released, we're still going to be staying pretty true to the manga versions, which is pretty nice to see. Again, there's something very important about these 2 designs that not many people are talking about, or you might not notice on first glance, that I think are a pretty big deal, but we'll get to that in a second. But first, today's video is sponsored by Fume, the leaders in flavored air. So I used to think quitting my bad habit would be impossible, and it turned out I was right. That's because for me it wasn't about quitting, it was more about replacing. But that's where Fume came in. No vapor, no nicotine, just naturally flavored air that actually satisfies. No stress, no withdrawals, just a simple swap. Fume is an award-winning and highly reviewed flavored air device that is not a vape. It has no battery and creates absolutely no vapor, so you can use it anywhere. It has no nicotine, no toxic flavors, just refreshing flavored air coming from a super high quality device. And on that note, I absolutely love the build of this thing. It's made out of high quality material and has these cool little fidgets that you can mess around with when you're kind of working through stress. Working on videos all day, this is a pretty nice tool to kind of mess around with as I'm doing so. You also have several refreshing flavors to choose from. My personal favorite is Crisp Mint. Pretty good. Fume has already helped over 300,000 people build their better habits. You can join them by trying Fume today, and if you order the Journey Pack now using my code AnimeAnxiety, you'll get a free Fume topper, which is an awesome accessory to level up your experience. Go to tryfume.com/animeanxiety or scan the QR code on the screen that you see right now in order to get yours. So make sure to do that today, and thank you Fume for sponsoring this video, but for now let's get back to it. The 2 designs that were released that I'm referring to are the ones for the monsters Giro Giro and Monster King Orochi. These are 2 monsters that we actually got to see in season 2, so it's no surprise to anybody that's watched the anime or read the manga, of course. They really only appeared in the last couple episodes of season 2, but they still made an appearance nonetheless, so we are already aware of what their anime designs are somewhat going to be. I've seen a lot of people complain about the Monster King Orochi design, they don't like the way it looks, or maybe the texture of it is kind of throwing people off. I for one think it's fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with this design, especially with that of Giro Giro. I feel like it's pretty pretty perfect for like its manga version. So it's really nice to see that they're not really mixing up the designs of these two monsters in particular, because they're probably like the two most important ones of the entire arc. And I'm kind of at the point with this anime where I'm just like, anything that doesn't look terrible is a good sign, pretty much. But kind of getting to what the meat of this video is really about. I specifically want to talk about Monster King Orochi's design, because I think it actually does show some pretty positive signs for the anime, believe it or not. So what I'm referring to here is like in the way Monster King Orochi is drawn and designed overall. Now, of course, the design that we see here in this poster that they released isn't going to be how he's going to look throughout the entirety of the season. But one thing I wanted to look out for once we were getting some like images or clips of Monster King Orochi, and whether it be trailers or character designs like this, is exactly in what way they're going to create this monster, because he is a massive, massive monster. If you've read the manga, you know how big Monster King Orochi is. And more often than not, when like you're dealing with really massive characters like this in anime, especially more recently, they tend to be kind of created with more CGI than actual like hand-drawn animation. Or at least there's a good mix of CGI in the creation and the movement of these characters, because again, they're massive and it's kind of difficult to hand draw every little movement of a super big character. And to be honest, with the confidence and the track record that JC Staff has built up with the fan base for One Punch Man, I honestly hesitate to give them the benefit of the doubt to give a very good CGI adaptation of any character, especially Monster King Orochi for the anime. Don't want to be a Debbie Downer here, but I would assume that if they tried going like full CGI for Monster King Orochi, it probably wouldn't look very good. So seeing in this character design that he looks completely hand-drawn pretty much, it gives me a lot of confidence that they're going to do their very best to try to hand draw a lot of like the fights and moments that include Monster King Orochi's. And that's a very exciting thing, because for those of you that have read the manga, you know that Monster King Orochi, like pretty soon into season 3, is going to get involved into some pretty hype and some pretty awesome fights, like 2 in particular. So contrary to how some people were kind of reacting to this design, kind of like pooping on it and not liking the way that it's drawn or colored or whatever, I for one got genuinely kind of excited to see that he wasn't drawn with like any type of like weird texturing or gave any type of inkling that he's going to be like a full CGI monster. And he wasn't full CGI like really at all during season 2, but at the same time, like you didn't really see him do much. He was just like sitting in a chair and like shrouded in darkness. Like there wasn't really much to draw there or much to go off of. But with this upcoming season, Monster King Orochi is going to play a much more active role in everything that happens, so that's going to be a lot different. So what I think is going to inject a little bit more excitement into the fan base going forward is, of course, we have like, you know, more trailers to look forward to, finally a director announcement to look forward to, but then now we're getting these pretty cool Monster Key visuals that I think are going to get people more excited than the hero ones did. To be honest, I'm really hoping that they have a specific character design for Phoenix Man in particular. And I know if you guys are anime only, you might even be wondering like, who the hell is Phoenix Man? But you have seen him in season 2, like at the very end. He's the one that carried off Garo at the end of season 2, like flying away with him. And those of you that have been viewers of this channel for a while now know my love for Phoenix Man. And if you've read the manga, you know why I'm so excited to see what he looks like, because Phoenix Man is probably one of my favorite monsters and like favorite characters in general in the entirety of that whole Monster Association arc. So I'm really hoping that they highlight him in one of these character designs. But let me know in the comments below which character design from the Monster Cadre or the Monster Association you're most excited to see coming up. That is it for this one though. Have an absolutely wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, whatever. Thanks again to Fume for sponsoring this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.